It was supposed to be a routine drive home from practice for Jason Kelce, the star center for the Philadelphia Eagles. But on this fateful day in August 2023, Kelce's life would take a terrifying turn that no one could have predicted. Kelce had just wrapped up a tough training session with his teammates, eager to get back to his hotel and rest up before the team's next big game. Little did he know, his vehicle was about to experience a catastrophic mechanical failure that would send him on a collision course with disaster. As Kelce approached a busy interchange, he reached down to apply the brakes, but to his horror, nothing happened. The brake pedal went straight to the floor, and he lost all control of the vehicle. Panic gripped Kelce as he fought to steer the runaway SUV. His heart raced as he realized his brakes had completely failed, and he was hurtling towards a busy intersection at breakneck speed. Kelce could only watch in horror as the intersection approached. Cars swerved to avoid his path, but he was powerless to stop the inevitable. In a split second, his world turned upside down. The collision was devastating, sending Kelce's SUV airborne and tumbling end over end. When the vehicle finally came to a rest, the NFL star was left trapped and injured, his life hanging by a thread. Eyewitnesses to the horrific crash immediately called for emergency services, and within minutes, first responders were on the scene. But the extent of Kelce's injuries was unclear, and precious time was slipping away. Kelce's condition was critical, and the race was on to get him to the nearest trauma center. With a suspected spinal injury and internal bleeding, every second counted. The ambulance sped through the city streets, sirens blaring, as the medical team fought to keep the NFL star alive. As the ambulance raced against the clock, news of the accident spread like wildfire. Kelce's teammates, coaches, and legions of devoted fans held their breath, praying for his safe arrival at the hospital. At the hospital, the trauma team was prepared for Kelce's arrival, but the extent of his injuries was still unknown. They worked feverishly to stabilize him, running a battery of tests and scans to assess the full scope of the damage. Kelce's condition was touch and go, and the doctors knew they had to act quickly to give him the best chance of survival. They raced against the clock, performing a series of emergency procedures to address his life-threatening injuries. For hours, the nation held its breath, waiting for news of Kelce's condition. His family, friends, and teammates paced the hospital corridors, their hearts heavy with concern for the beloved athlete. As the sun began to set, the medical team finally emerged from the operating room, their faces etched with exhaustion. All eyes turned to them, desperate for any sign of good news. The news was both devastating and miraculous. Kelce had sustained life-threatening injuries, but against all odds, he was alive. The doctors had done everything in their power to stabilize him, and now the long road to recovery began. For the Kelce family and the entire Philadelphia Eagles organization, the days and weeks ahead would be filled with uncertainty and worry. But one thing was clear. Jason Kelce, the heart and soul of the team, was alive, and his fight for survival had only just begun.